My intention is like this. We go through whatever I have prepared, okay? But from time to time also we give you maybe some little questions to discuss and maybe to ask for your responses. When I find maybe some of us, including myself, is falling asleep, okay? So we have to cheer us up, right? But then I want to talk to you about the final presentation because Nicole has returned to Germany. And then just now, another one. He said he might be going to an international conference and he's not sure how long it will take for him to be absent from the class. So we would just presume that he will not be able to return by the end of December, okay? So maybe he will make, Zhou Zhen will make his final presentation in the end of November, okay? So then we will have two left. And that's why I moved the three of them together, because I think maybe from this week on, you three will work together, okay? And you two can, because Zhou Zhen will make his presentation in the end of November, and then our final class is in the end of December, right? So you can decide whether you want to make another presentation since you are working together with him. You can decide, because last presentation, I think you made it kind of in I didn't give you enough time to make the final presentation. So it's kind of hasty for you to prepare for the presentation. So it's up to you whether you want to make another presentation jointly with your new partner. Okay? So you decide. Okay? You can decide that fine, I've done. Or since I have discussed with him for some time, because Zhou Zhen is going to be absent from the end of November, and then we will have 1 more month to go. So you will become new partners. So it's up to you whether he's coming along for his presentation or you are going to go to come with him together as partners to make the final presentation. It's up to you. Okay? Right? So everything's clear, right? So from today on, I think from time to time, I will, have you got your computer? You have, right? Yeah, because I thought I said from last week on, we will have some time in every class to make our final presentation, okay? But it's fine. Anyway, at least you have your iPhone or your something. You can work on it, okay? So because it's already mid-November, so we don't have much time to prepare for the final presentation, right? So I don't want you to work at home, because if you work at home, number one, it takes time. Number two, you may work towards wrong directions. So if you work in the classroom, then I can be always around you, and then if you have questions, then we can discuss, okay? So I want you actually to make your final presentation in the classroom, right? And that's why maybe you would have to bring your, well, not necessarily a personal computer. Maybe you can just bring an iPad or whatever. Or even just use your iPhone if you can work on it, because I'm too old to work on those kind of new device. But I think for you young people, you know how to work out a PowerPoint from everywhere, okay? So that's my plan, right? Do we have agreement here? Or you have better idea? No? So everybody agree here, huh? Okay, then we do it this way. Okay, so we return back a little bit to what we ended up last week, okay? So we said that, since we think CSR, corporate social responsibility, is such a very important issue for us to promote all over the world, okay? But I think if I were a business operator, I would put profit, on the top of everything, okay? So when you talk about, social responsibility, when you make 10 pennies, you have to give 5 pennies to the society. No way, why? I made the money that belongs to me. Why should I give it to these stupid people, okay? So when people are trying to promote CSR, they have to think about how we can promote it, okay? It's just like as a professor, we cannot tell students that, oh, you have to work hard, someday if you work hard, someday you'll get a good job. That is what a stupid professor will say, okay? Yeah, a professor, a smart professor will tell you that, now what I tell you will appear in the exam. Wow! Everybody wake up, right? Okay? Right. Alright. So for CSR, it's the same. They have to tell you, if you do CSR, what will be good for your business? Okay? So they made up all these what we said last week, okay? If you do CSR, then you would have good access to the market, okay? Because people believe in you. People think that you are a good business, with social responsibility. So they would always, like to come to your shop. So of course, it will be easy for you to stay in the market, okay? But if you stay in the market, then of course, your customer will come to your shop from time to time, okay? Even if you do not have good business going, when they pass by your shop and they see, oh, Amy Shi, sounds interesting, okay? I remember that's a CSR mark, okay? So maybe I just, visit, and then, you are young people, you always go shopping, and you might not intend to buy something. But if you just go around in the shop and you say, oh, this is interesting, that is interesting, and then you may buy something. And once you buy one thing, like I like, if it is not for COVID-19, I used to wear earrings all the time. But now when I wear earrings, they always, I'm old. They always just, wrinkle around with my mask. So now I don't wear earrings, okay? I love earrings. So whenever I pass by some earring shop, I just, go and take a look, okay? But when I see special Korean mark, I don't know why, there are, you know that, right? The Korean earrings, they are cute and cheap, right? So whenever I see, some Korean type of earring shop, I visit. And when you go in, you cannot come out in 30 minutes, okay? And you just, buy. It doesn't matter whether I need them, okay? Because they are just so cute. And then their price is comparatively low, okay? For me, maybe $200, $300, you can buy very cute earrings, okay? So that's what trademark is very important. Like, when you see that mark, and then you think, oh, last time I bought something here, which was good, okay? And so you would, visit them. That's why they said, if you are a CSR business, then you enter the market, you keep your business, then of course you make your profits, and then you will, your quality will always sustain. Why? Because you have enough profits to sustain your quality, right? In Taiwan, we always say that, once you visit a shop, maybe when they first open, you visit a shop, and you think, oh, that's not bad. But maybe for 2 or 3 months, you did not go back. And then you visit that shop again, and you realize that the quality is coming down. And maybe after 3 months, they close, okay? Because it's some kind of we call it vicious cycle. Like if you have less and less customers, then your quality become worse and worse because you do not have enough profits to sustain your standard, your quality. Okay? Yeah. And then so it came down and down and down and down and finally you close up. Okay? But if you have enough visitors and then you have enough consumption, then you make enough profits, you enjoy enough fame, people trust you. Okay, when we talk about CSR, we say that we need the trust from the community, right? If the community trusts you, when I say the community, I'm not talking about Minshong County. When I say community, it means the young generation, or the old people, or the women, or the middle-aged women, or something like that. When I say community, it means like that. Okay, the social community. So when you have the trust from social community, then you get profits, and then you become sustainable because you have your brand image, and then you have the reputation. Okay, when you have that, your customer become loyal to you. Every time there is an earring shop in the Taipei. I think it's in the underground, at the underground of the Taipei train station. Okay, so every time when I visit Taipei, and if there are still maybe 20 minutes for me to travel around, I ran to the earring shop and maybe buy a pair or 2 pairs of earrings, and then ran to my train. Okay, so that's loyalty. Like every time when I visit Taipei, if I have time, I go to that earring shop. Okay, because I know there is something that I want, and so that's loyalty. The customer's loyalty, but they always go back. Okay, and so when you have all these customers who are always coming back to your shop, then you know which community of the customers that you have to serve, right? Like middle-aged women, young men, or things like that. Okay. Then from time to time, when you collect all these different information from your customers, you know how to make decisions for the development of the business. Okay. So it's kind of a good cycle that when you do CSR, when you become responsible of a responsible business, you get the trust from your customer, and then your customer will come back from time to time, and then you make profits, and then you will stay in the market, and then that will change your decision making, and you'll make a good cycle of business development. Okay, so that's what they tell you, the benefits of CSR. Okay, that's what they say, not me. So someday when you are trying to establish a business, well, try to consider CSR, okay? But CSR works differently for different business. So I'm not saying that once you do CSR, you'll do a successful business. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that it's kind of a fashion for us. It used to be for the big companies to think about their social responsibility. But now it's becoming like a fashion for the startups, because you are young people, okay? Maybe just 1 or 2 years later, you will start your business. Maybe not you yourself becoming the boss. Maybe you will be employed by other people, but that's also starting up, okay? So when you are starting up, maybe if you have this CSR idea in your mind, it will help you. Okay, that's what we want to say. Right. So for the 21st century, everybody is talking about sustainability. Why? Because we are losing our globe. Okay? Recently, not just climate change, but like the biological chain, our biological chain. Many places are missing, right? That's why, like Zhongzheng University, we have a place to revive frog. You know, have you ever visited there? No? Are you our students? Really? No? Maybe next time we should make a visit to go there. It's somewhere around here. When you go downstairs, you go across the road, you go to the backyard of Georgia University. Have you ever walked around there? Oh, we must find a class with such beautiful sunshine, but we must tell everybody to wear maybe sports shoes. Better to walk, because if we walk a circle at the backyard of Georgia University, it takes maybe 20 minutes. Or if we have a chat and have fun, maybe 30, 40 minutes. Okay?
Talking about the walking road.
Yeah. In the just across the law school. Yeah, there's a round road. It takes about 20 minutes for us to walk around. And if you turn right, walk down, there's a river. And then there's a pond. It's the revival pond for I don't remember how to call that. There's a small insect with shining tails. How to call that in English? Yeah, it's 萤火虫 in Chinese. What's that in English? Come on, check for me, check. That's our first test today. Come on. What is that? I forgot that name. The insect. Just type 萤火虫 in Chinese, English. The English will come up. Fireflies. You see? Very easy English. But then we forget. Okay. We have a revival pond for fireflies, and we used to have also revival pond for frogs. So, at night, if you walk around there, I don't know what kind of voice you hear. You might hear this and that. According to your holy nature, okay? But you hear frogs because we had a revival pond there. And that's to make up the biological chain, okay? Because of the climate change and whatever this and that, we use too much artificial whatever chemicals, and that's why some parts of the biological chain are getting missing, okay? But if the biological chain is ruined, then the human being will be, will be ruining the globe, or being ruined by the globe. I don't know. Anyway, it's not a good thing that we would like it to happen, okay? And that's why for the 21st century sustainable development, everybody is talking about everything green, okay? Not only the leaves. Nowadays, you don't really see leaves green. Our leaves now, they are not really green. Because of the air pollution or whatever, or maybe the rain is not clean, the soil is not clean, the water is not clean, and that's why the tree we see now is different from the trees we saw in my childhood. The color changed. They are not green. Okay, I don't know what they mean by green, but that's what my English friend told me. The green is not like this now on our tree. It's some kind of brown mixed green, not real green, all right? So we want our trees to come back to the original green. Apart from that, we want everything built around the globe becoming green. Okay, so now we are using all kinds of green technologies to try to make green buildings. What do you mean by green buildings? Somebody tell me, what is green building? To paint the building green? They use LED lights. Ah, good. LED light, which is very expensive. But once you use the LED light, it saves you a lot of energy, right? And
some kind of buildings that don't harm the environment. And they're trying to be a part of the environment rather than to build a building somewhere and put it there.
so we want to make the building part of the environment. That is a big ambition. Yeah. So we want to learn from some insect. You know, some insects, they make themselves part of the environment to protect themselves, right? So now we want to make the buildings part of the globe. So what do we do? Like the building do not use electricity. We use the design the solar design to collect all the energies from the sun and then use that to provide for the electricity we need. Okay? So it's just like the tree. You see? So someday, nowadays, because of the gene technology, so someday we can have the genes from the tree and put the genes into our body. So when you get hungry at 3 o'clock, right? You just say, Amy, can I go out for 10 minutes? And say, okay, please go. And then you go out, and then under the sign, you just do like that. For 10 minutes, then you are full. Okay? Because your gene of the trees, they get all the energy from the sun. So we don't need so much food. We become so friendly to the nature. Sounds interesting, huh? Okay, there's another thing that is even more interesting. Nowadays, so many women, they do not want to have babies. Because after they have babies, it doesn't matter what they eat. They become like any machine, okay? So it doesn't matter, the diet doesn't help. Once you have babies, then everything goes wrong on your body, okay? It's not just the shape, but also the inside healthy conditions, they change, okay? So, do you know now the biological technologies, it is now still developing, but it's nearly 90% successful that they use the womb of pigs to replace the womb of human being. So maybe if you are rich enough, 3 years later, we don't need our womb to cultivate babies. Instead, pigs, in Chinese, I don't know whether Zhou knows, in Chinese, sometimes, it's a bad thing, it's a discriminating sentence saying that, that person is born by animal. To say that person is not human, does not think like human, it's very mean or things like that, okay? So we sometimes say people 出生的, right? Something like that. But maybe after 20 years or 30 years, it's a discrimination to call other people 出生的 because it's really born by pigs, okay? Because pigs, the environment of the womb of pigs can be 90% similar to human being pigs, okay? So they can really bear children for human beings, right? So you know that nowadays we are before human beings are trying to make differences between we human beings, okay? Because we human beings, only we can think, only we have ethics, only we can run business, only we human beings can do such great things. But now we are, Jordan is really good to the point that we are returning back to to try to claim that we can be part of the nature. Okay? We are part of the nature. We are not hurting the nature. We are not finishing the nature. Okay? But over the maybe past 3 centuries, human beings did not understand that we are not sustaining the globe. We are actually making the solar bear no home to return to. We are we are hurting the biological chain. We are erasing the human being from the globe, or we are erasing the globe from the human being anyway. Okay, so this is what is our, it's now our holy, well, I would not say really holy. Holy is very Christian. It's our ideal future that everything that we are doing on the globe will be green oriented. Okay? It means that it will be environmentally friendly. Okay? It will not hurt the environment anymore. Okay? So it says that the corporate social responsibility is to contribute to the advancement and development of humankind and society through practice of the CSR. Okay? Sounds very flowery. Okay? But this is CSR. Like, if you believe in it, you believe in it. If you do not believe in it, then, I don't know, then our globe will just go down and down and down and down and down, Because everybody will think that, well, even if I use recycled paper, it's only me. But if everybody thinks the same way, then nobody will use recycled paper. Everybody like, those very soft, very white paper, okay? But if you think that, well, very soft, very white, so what? It really hurts the globe. So we don't need papers to be so white, so soft, it doesn't really hurt our sustainability ourselves, okay? And that's why we are talking about sustainable development, okay? So the United Nations, nowadays, especially for your generation, you need to know the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. Have you ever heard about SDGs? One? Raise hand. I have one hand. One hand only? Really? Oh no. Okay, right. You need to know. You do not need to know Professor Amy Shi, but you have to know Sustainable Development Goals. We call it SDGs, okay? It was intended originally about, I think, nearly 20 years ago, 15 years ago, for the United Nations. Actually, since the turning away to this century, okay, since the end of last century, people, they gather, experts, they gather together in the United Nations and think about how can we make our globe sustainable. Okay, we used to talk about a lot of ideals, okay, like we want rule of law, we want good governance, all those, very nice things. But now we said we only want to survive, okay? So how can we make the globe, actually, if you translate sustainability, it means we want to survive, okay? We don't want our son or our grandchildren to die together with the globe. And that's why now we have these goals of sustainability, okay? So people gather together in the United Nations and they make 17 goals. And they call it the UN, this is the sign of the United Nations, okay? So they call it the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2030. So when they made it 15 years ago, they want to achieve these goals by 2030. So what year is now? So how many years do we have?
8 years.
Yeah. And now they find out that things are going worse, not better. After they worked so hard for 15 years, things are not getting better. And so I'm sure that maybe in 2-3 years, there will be another thing coming out, okay? Just to give us people hope. All right, anyway, but now we are still talking about SDGs, all right? So you would have to know what SDGs have, all right? So after these 17, I will give you some time for discussion and pick up 2 or 3 that interest you most, okay? And put them in your final presentation. Say like, in our company, I think you do not need to make picture because if you type SDG, you have 100 pictures on your Google. All right, they are very beautiful, and then there are all kinds of different explanations. All right, because SDGs, I don't know why students in, not just you, I asked many students in CCU. Most students do not have never heard about SDGs. That really surprised me because SDGs are for your generation to enforce, okay? But if you do not know, then what is the education doing, okay? I mean, you should know this is not for my generation. This is for your generation because you have to work on this for your next generation, right? Okay. So I must talk about this, okay? If most of us have not heard about it, okay? So. Number 1, no poverty. We go through it once and then I will go to details later. Number 1, no poverty. Number 2, 0 hunger. So they are actually one group, right? Poverty and hunger, they are connected. And then number 3 is good health and well-being, okay? So what we have to notice is that people are getting, because we have good medication, so people are getting older and older and older. So when you get older and older and older, it means that our average age is getting higher and higher and higher. So when you live old, you have much more health problems, right? So if like my grandparents' generation, they live only up to maybe 65 or 68 years old. So after they retire, they are prepared to die. They don't have the problem of dementia. They don't have time to forget, okay? But now we live up to 85, 90, every week I go for my elderly people clinic service in the community or in the hospitals. Everybody sitting beside me is 85, 90, 95, Yesterday I was dealing with a man who is 100 years old. So even his son is 77, 78 already, So when you are getting old, you have more and more, because this body was, if you are Christian, you will believe this body is created by God. But if you are not Christian, anyway, this body is created by nature. And everything died. So of course, when you get old and older and older and older, it doesn't matter which kind of car you drive. After 10 years, every price of cars, they would need to go back to change some parts of it, right? So it doesn't matter whether it's good car or bad car. After 10 years, something goes wrong. So it's the same with human beings. If you live longer than intended, because human beings develop so much good nutrition, good medication, good living, good living environment, and so rich people who can afford good lives, they live longer and longer and longer and longer and longer and longer. But their body is not meant to live for 100 years, right? So you will have a lot of health problems, all right? may go very long, but then you would have to face the disease that you did not have to face before, right? Okay, so we will have this health problem because of aging society. Okay, on the other hand, you will have an unforeseeable equality problem because before everybody died at 65, so we do not have the problem of whether I should change a lung or whether I change a brand or whatever. Okay, but now because people are getting older and older and older, and that's why only rich people can get good technology, can get good biotech or things like that. Okay, so I read it from somewhere that the biotechnology they have developed from our genes. Okay, like they can take from my gene to create a brain of any sheep. Okay, okay. So if I'm rich enough, my brain will never die because they can use my gene to create a brain. So even my body died, Amy she will not die because my brain will live there in the lab forever. Whoa, that's something. You see? So if we still believe in, in the old philosopher who say like Descartes says that I think that's why I'm a human being. Okay? If you believe in Descartes, and so even if my human body decay, but my brain is still there, it means any sheep never dies. Okay? But I will have to be rich enough. So, what does it mean by equality? You cannot say it's unfair. It's fair because I'm rich enough. Okay? And I'm rich enough is because, well, I save a lot of money since when I was young. I don't buy a lot of things, and that's why, my whole life is just to save all the money, to buy a brand, to make a brand for my gene, for myself. No, you cannot say that because I blah, blah, blah. Okay, because you people, you waste a lot of money, and I save a lot of money, and that's why I can make my brand. You don't know, okay. But anyway, you will face new equality problems. How to define what the equality means. Okay. Actually, now we are facing it because when we have some kind of disease, we go to the hospital. The doctor will ask you, well, do you want to eat the medicine paid by national health system, or do you want to pay yourself? Because we have better medication, but then you will have to pay for yourself. So if I can afford it, of course, I want better medication. Okay? Is it fair? I don't know. What do you think? Is it fair that rich people can always have better medication? Is it fair? But if it is not fair, what is fair? You are much taller and much more beautiful than I am. So what should I do? Fail you. Because I'm a professor. See? This is fair. You can be more beautiful. Good. But I can fail you. Good. Okay? So there will be a war if we are always arguing for fairness. Okay? Because there's nothing fair. He can get a sponsorship to go to a very nice conference and escape from my class for 1 month. And I still have to say congratulations, even if I want to kill him. Okay? So, see? What is fair? Nothing is fair. And if you see Nicole, see, she can, very happily flying from Germany. No, she was not living in Germany. She's a Germany, but she was living in Denmark. Yes, she was living in Denmark, and so she flew all the way from Denmark to Taiwan and sat in our class for how long? 1 month? Right? 2 months? Happily, okay? And then we went out with her for a Korean dinner, happily. And then now she's traveling around Taiwan, happily. And then you have to sit here hearing my rubbish. Alright? Is it fair? Nothing is fair. Nothing. Okay. So if we want to talk about what is fair and what is equality, there's an endless war, I think. Okay? So maybe for SDGs, they want to talk about other ideas about equality, other ideas. Okay, right. And then they talk about quality education. I don't know. Until the end of the semester, you fill in your teacher's evaluation form. Then I know how bad I have taught. Okay, Amy is always talking about rubbish and costs and blah, blah, blah. And he allows somebody to go to a conference without coming to the class and still give him a credit, she's a very bad teacher, da, da, da. You never know, okay? So what does it mean by quality education, right? So what they mean is not whether A, she is teaching well. What they mean is that, you see, we are here, we have air conditioning, we have good chair, but there are so many children. They are sitting on the floor, writing on the soil, to learn mathematics maybe in the rural area of India. And then they are genius. They're actually genius, but they don't have a classroom for them to learn, okay? So this is what we mean by quality education. Then gender equality, everybody knows, okay? Number one, it doesn't matter whether you are a woman, I'm a man, we are equal. The other thing is that, you said, no, Amy, you are a woman. That's not your business. I think I'm a man, okay? Fine, please respect my choice. Okay, so that's gender equality, okay? And even if I am a woman, I can fall in love with another woman. I do not have to fall in love with a man, because for me, all men are useless. Only girls are good. So I want to fall in love with them. That's my choice. Okay. So that's gender equality. All right. And then number 6 is sometimes people ask me, Amy, why do we have to talk about clean water? All water is clean. Of course, if you use your eyes to see, all water is clean. But no water in Taiwan is clean. So never drink from the tap. Have you ever drunk our tap water? Is tap water available in your country? No? Can you drink from your tap? In your country? You can. But you see my Japanese friends, they used to come to Taiwan and then they just turn on the tap, and I thought they want to wash their hands. But then they wash their hands and then they go, it's too late for me to say stop. Oh, okay? So now, whenever my Japanese friends come, whenever they reach the tap, I say, "Chōtobate kudasai." I want to know whether they want to wash their hands or they want to drink. Okay? If they want to drink, then I would say, let's go to konbini. Okay, convenience shop in Japanese, go to konbini. Let's go there to buy water. Okay, you're not supposed to drink water from the tap. Okay, because in Taiwan they don't change the. I don't want to tell you this. Okay, and many people they commit suicide. Just jump into the water tank. Okay, so we have to be careful. Okay, no water in Taiwan is clean, so you have to be careful. Everything you drink, even if you see all the advertisements saying that if they have some device connected to your tap, you can just turn on your tap and drink. Please do not believe in that. Okay. In Taiwan, when you drink water, you must boil it and then make it cold and drink. Never drink water from the tap. Okay. No way. Okay. Not in Taiwan. In many countries, even if you boil the water, they are not drinkable. Okay? So we are so lucky to live in Taiwan. The climate change is not too bad. All the living condition is all right. Okay, still affordable for human beings to stay, right? So we are working on it. It's called smart city. Okay, everything, all the energy needs to be clean. You see, right now we have very clean electricity. Okay, when we were young, you can see that the light, sometimes they are shining very quickly like that. It really hurts your eyes, but you do not know. Okay, but nowadays because we use LED, that's very good for our health. Okay, right. And then decent work and economic growth, that everybody knows. But it means, what does it mean by decent work? It doesn't mean that if there is a work, you need to do it. Okay, decent work means that I am trained in law, so unless I choose to go into other fields. Otherwise, I'm trained in the law, I have a PhD in law, so I'm entitled to teach in the university. Yeah, but you see there are so many PhDs running around in Taiwan. They cannot find a job in the universities. We have too many PhDs in Taiwan, okay? And they cannot get decent jobs, right? Okay? But I don't know, I don't think it's just that so many parents want to send their children to go abroad to study. That may be a problem, but whenever my students say that their parents want them to go to the United States to get a degree or to go to Europe to get a degree, I always tell them, pass your lawyer's examination first. When you come back to Taiwan, if you cannot get a job in the university, at least you can practice law, okay? But if you just go abroad to get a PhD without a license to practice law, then when you come back to Taiwan, you don't find a job, your parents will have to feed you, okay? You will have to depend, even if you have a PhD, fine, but you will have to depend on your parents, okay? So, decent work, okay, it means that when a country has steady economic growth, actually it becomes impossible. In Taiwan now, we are always reducing our economic growth, okay? I remember from 6 point something to, I think it's 2 point something now, our economic growth, okay? It's not just Taiwan, the whole globe is like that because we have a global economic recession, okay? So, recently we have to be careful, because the bank interests in the United States has reached to something like 3% to 4%. But in Taiwan, do you have interests if you put money in the bank? Maybe 0.2, the most, okay, right? It means what? It means Taiwan, the value of Taiwan money is going to decline, okay? And when the value of the money declines compared to the United States, then it means we are going to have an inflation. Do you realize that things are becoming very expensive here in Taiwan? Yes? You realize that, huh? So if your parents have to give you more money for your living expenses, otherwise you are going to get hungry. Or you come to NEC's lab to work for your living. Okay, so we need the decent work and economic growth together. Okay. Number 9 is industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Okay, it means that Taiwan, because Taiwan was colonized by Japan, actually colonization itself is really bad. But when Japan colonized Taiwan for 50 years, it actually built up the infrastructure of Taiwan very well. Okay, like the train system, the soil system, the salt system. from the oil system, the fuel system. They build up the system, the infrastructure system quite well. Okay. But there are many, many countries. After they become independent, they have no infrastructure. Okay? And that's why now it's very important, okay, for us to have industry innovation. It's not just industry. Now we, especially for you, young generation, you need to be very careful, because if you are doing the same thing as other people, you don't get your business, okay? Because you can never compete yourself with big companies, right? If you make the same watch with Seiko, okay, can you earn money? Difficult. You must make something different. That means innovation. You have to attract the eyes of your customers. So you must make something new. It means innovation. You need ideas. Nowadays, new ideas are the most important for your generation. Maybe for my generation, skills are very important. For my last generation, for my parents' generation, knowledge is very important. But for my generation, only knowledge is not enough. Skills plus knowledge, okay? But for your generation, knowledge, skills, they are basic. You need living brain, okay? Every day, you think about different things, how can I tell my professor that I will not be on time in the classroom, blah, 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 Please train your brain. Even if you have to tell you a lie, sometimes that when my students are telling me something, I really feel asleep. You know why? Because before they tell me, I know what they want to say. No innovation at all. They forget. Sometimes I tell my students, do you know once I was a student too? Okay? So whatever you tell me, maybe I told my professor the same thing, all right? So you need to think about something new to tell me. Okay, if you want to fool your professor, you have to be innovative. Okay, to think about something different. Nowadays, when we are recruiting new members in a company or in a business sector, actually, basic knowledge, basic skills, everybody has the same, okay? Like, you do not compete with each other whether you use Word or PPT or PDF or Excel. Everybody uses it, okay? So it becomes normal that everybody knows basic things, but being innovative is different. So nowadays, when we are recruiting new members in institutions, we simply give a very strange question. And that question, everybody can answer, but everybody give a different answer. And then you pick up from those innovative people or responsive person. I think I told you that once I was the dean in the international office, and we needed a new member in the international office, okay? So my division head, they check on the application forms first, okay? We have many application forms, and then they check on it. And one standard will be how many scores they got from the English tests, right? Because if you need to work in the international office, you need to be able to communicate with international students. So you need basic English. For me, basic English is enough, okay? So they choose those who get maybe 700 in TOEFL, 700 whatever. But then they got a few. I think they got 3 or 4. I said I need more, okay? So they went down to 650, something like that, which they think, oh, that English will not be enough. But for me, I think to deal with international students, you only need basic English, okay? So you don't need 700, 750, you know. I remember one applicant, she got 800 and something, nearly full score, you know. Okay. So at that time, I had 3 applicants sitting there preparing for the interview, okay? So I was the main interviewer, and then I had 2 division heads, okay? So like for example, this was the international office, and then I walk in, okay? So if you were the applicant, would you recognize me as the dean? Of course not. She's short, she's smart, she's cute. She's not supposed to be the dean, right? Okay? So when I walk in, 2 of them were looking at their own whatever. I think they are preparing for something. I don't know what you need to prepare for interview, you know. You're preparing for what to prepare. I think you have to calm down yourself, you know, breathe. Okay, but 2 of them, they didn't even see me coming in, okay? My office is over there. I deliberately, I walked through them and then went into my office. Even if I walked into my office, they did not realize that I was the dean. Maybe they thought I was the secretary or whatever, okay? So, I used to love my office so much because there is a window towards the sky, you know, just in the middle of the office. And I asked them to make a very romantic curtain, okay? So when there was very nice sunshine, I asked my secretary to open that curtain. And it would be, you know, the sunshine will come down from the roof. And then the whole international office became, for me, I thought it became very romantic because there was sunshine. Well, maybe that's my way of European romance. I don't know. You know, for European people, they don't like light. You know, at the daytime, they don't turn on the light. Okay. So I like that very much. So that day, you can see there was sunshine. So my secretary turned on the curtain before I entered my office, okay? I remember that that interview was about 10 o'clock in the morning, but because I had another meeting, so I kind of ran into my office, okay? So when I ran into my office, that sunshine caught my sight and say, for example, 1, 2, 3, okay? So you 1, 2, 3 were there, okay? And I just ran there. And I just look at it, I say, hi! I just say, hi! I didn't say, hi, David, hi, Amy, hi. I didn't, you know, because I didn't remember the names, okay? I just said, oh, hi! It's a nice day, isn't it? And then I ran into my dean's room. Guess what the responses are? I had 3. Give me one response. When somebody run over and say, oh, hi, morning. It's a nice day, isn't it? What would you say?
Oh, yeah, it's a nice day.
Oh, okay. And? No response. It's not my business. Maybe that's what Taiwanese students, because since when you were young, whatever concerns is exams. Apart from exams, nothing concerns you. Okay? So when I run, I will go over. I said, oh, it's a nice day, isn't it? You presume that I was not talking to you. So you did not have to respond to me. Okay, that kind of students cannot come and work in the international office. That was my judgment. Okay? So there were 3 people. Okay? One person just look at me and then smile and go back to what she was reading. Okay? The other person, no response at all, not even looking at me. Okay? Another one look at me and said, oh yes, it is.